Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Financial Therapies. This channel is about financial wellness, so we talk about the emotions that are driving our money behaviors to help us all achieve financial freedom. So if you're new here, do subscribe to my channel below and give me a thumbs up and turn on notification and definitely leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about my videos. So for today, I want to talk about Black History Month. I believe that we should be talking about, Black history all the time, all year round, and not just 1 month a year. But in honor of Black History Month, I wanted to talk about the experience of Black people and how that's affecting us in every way of our lives today. The purpose of discussing history and Black pain points for me is not to rehash the past or dwell in it, but to honor it and use it to empower us to understand ourselves better, to process our pain and the reality of it, and to ultimately heal from it so that we could change our mindset and improve our present and our future. The conversation around Black progress usually focuses on financial or material or outward success, right? But that's only partial progress. How do we achieve more than financial freedom? Financial success nowadays is more attainable than ever before because we have access to information and systems as well as opportunities, because we can learn any skills nowadays for free or for cheap. But how do we get inward peace? How do we define our own version of ourselves? How do we feel whole from the inside? How do we define our own success, enoughness, and in wealth? My general philosophy is to deal with the past and the emotional baggages that we have so that we could heal and thrive. I spent so much of my life, not dealing with my emotional trauma, which ultimately stunted my personal and life growth because it kept me from living a purposeful life. And I wish I had understood the importance of dealing with, my junk and healing a lot earlier, because that's a level of peace because the level of peace that comes from self-awareness. I didn't even know that I was missing something until I got it. The issues that Black folks face is not new, and we often hear that we should be getting over it, or slavery was so long ago, like you should be over it by now. I don't think anyone wishes that were true any more than Black folks. Why? We wish everything was just in the past and we could just move on. But it's really hard to move on from something like this, especially when we continue to be re-traumatized all the time, right? We're constantly dealing with racism, aggression, police brutality, all types of trauma, racial related trauma. So it's really hard to move on when you keep dealing with this stuff. So today, I want to talk about how all of our experiences have affected us in so many ways, socially, mentally, and economically. So let's talk about the mental aspect or the mental cost of slavery. The mindset that I think Black people have developed because of slavery and oppression and colonization is probably the worst side effects of these trauma or these experiences. We have internalized a level of self-hate and self-inferiority complex that I think is affecting the way that we behave and the actions that we make. So I think part of the inferiority complex that we have is that it causes us to mistreat each other and ourselves. I think all of us have experience where, like, we will treat ourselves badly but turn around and respect someone else, and then it's just like, when this happens to me, I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm your people. But somehow we feel that maybe we are not, whole. Maybe we are less, and that's the mental aspect and the limiting belief that has developed because of years of oppression and psychological warfare and being told that you're not good enough, you're less than. And we have, whether we want to admit it or not, like, to a certain level, kind of like accepted it as our reality when it's not. And of course you can't avoid it, right? Because we're dealing with aggression everywhere, with whether it's in the school, walking down the street, on the train, at the doctor's office, at the courthouse. So it's ever present in our lives, and we do try to ignore it for the most of the time. And unfortunately, we have gotten used to being mistreated, and try not to let it bother us, but our bodies and our mind feel it every single time. There's no escaping of all those feelings that we have. So, in addition to the mental aspect, the limiting belief that we have developed, we have those, compounding social issues, right? That are the systems and that are designed to really stifle our progress, right? It starts from the wound, with, the stress of poverty and racism and how that really affects the babies before they're even born. And then we have the healthcare system. And we know how the statistics are really horrible when it comes to infant mortality, Black infant mortality, and Black maternal mortality, which is 2 to 3 times more than other races. And of course that happens even despite education or socioeconomic status. So it's not a poor people problem, it's a Black people problem. Then there's a lack of access to affordable and quality childcare. I mean, that's an overall American problem, but the poor and the minorities are affected disproportionately in terms of childcare. Then we could also talk for days about the poor public education system, the criminal system, employment discrimination, social services, from health, water, safety, and the list will go on. So all of this is affecting us. Then let's talk about economics, right? We all know the impact of slavery, and after that, we're still working for basically nothing, right? Then Black people didn't have the same opportunities for true upward mobility, right? Policies that help whites were not available to the Black folks. Institutionalized racism basically was designed to keep the Black people down, and public policies such like redlining, the banking system, at work, like we're basically working against the system, and that makes everything so much harder for Black people as you try to progress, because every time you try to find a way, there's another blockade ahead of you. And of course, there's the part where Blacks pay more for services like insurance and healthcare, and even physical items too. And Black and minorities, as well as the poor, are being attacked from so many corners. So it's a challenge to get out of that space, because the entire system seems to be designed to break the poor and the minority mentally and physically. And then there's also the crime that you have to deal with, especially police brutality, which is the worst, because these people are supposed to protect you, but then you're getting brutalized by them. But the good news is, yes, there is a good news. This is not all doomsday. Despite all of this, Black people have accomplished so much. It's beyond phenomenal what we have done, right? The resilience, the grit, the spirit of excellence, the persistence that we hold has not stopped us from, making progress. No matter what has happened, Black people keep getting back up, right? The government and all the races try to create all the loopholes to trap us, but we keep finding a way to build and to succeed, right? Despite the fact that the rules keep changing, we keep trying and we don't give up hope. We can't give up hope, right? Because if we give up hope, then what's going to happen to future generations? So we continue to fight. There is so much more work to be done, but I believe that one of the things that has hindered our progress is our mindset. The limiting beliefs that have affected our self-worth has caused us to accept nonsense and mistreat ourselves and each other, and not see the value that we hold as a people, has prevented us from making progress. I see how many people have awoken, right, from this mental sleep and are crushing it. And they're trying to move forward despite how the bar keeps moving, despite like all the negativity that they have to deal with. But so many people need to realize that that we need to heal emotionally from our past. We need to process this trauma. We need to accept the role that he has played in our lives, and we need to make the decision to let go of that and accept the perfect creation that God made in us, right? I think we just need to understand our self-worth and start treating ourselves as the divine being that we are. At least, like, I want us to start living free from all of this craziness, like mentally at least, right? We still got to live in the real world, but I want us to really change our mindset so that we could really achieve a level of success that's really peaceful within ourselves, and it's not depending on how other people treat us. Let me know your thoughts below about this topic. What do you think is the biggest hindrance to our progress as a group of people? Like, what is keeping us Black people down? Like, despite the progress that we've made, what else should we be focusing on, or what is the most important thing, or that you think we could focus on to really help to bring us to a level of success where we're feeling good within ourselves, and we're working towards the goals that we want for the future generation. So thank you for joining me today, and don't forget, guys, to please subscribe below, like and comment, and share this video with your friends. And I'm wishing you all the best. Love and peace from me to you. Take care. Bye.